Okay, so I will take us now quickly through it, and let's begin. Just a minute. Okay, so here we are, and let's begin. So, yep, here we go. Okay, so App Inventor is a place where you come to develop mobile apps. Okay, and most of it is built basically for the sake of teaching children how to build mobile apps. So, and that's the environment we'll be using. And so this is how it looks when you go to the website. The first things you will see is this kind of thing. But first of all, you will need to have an account with Google. So you have to have a Google account, first of all, before you can actually be able to make use of the environment. Okay, so when you get to the environment, you see this kind of thing for the first time. So here it says start a blank project. This is asking you to already start a very new project. If you don't want to use this part, you can close it. If you don't want to use this, you can close it. Okay, so that closes this very first thing that comes up on the screen. All right, so now when you take that screen off, the next things you will see are these things on this page. So the very first thing I want to introduce to you here is the new project. So this new project is like that, clicking on that start a project on that screen that popped up, okay? So if you click on the new project, it will now ask you to enter the name of the project, okay? And then every other thing, just keep them the way they are, and then you click OK. So that will create a new project for a new mobile application project. Okay, so that's how to create a new project. But before we go into that, I will quickly also show us the other things. Here is if you already have an existing project, you can import that project and then continue working, right, on that project. Here is to import a project from what we call, so the difference between this one and this one is this here, you want to import it from your computer, and then here you are importing from where it is saved online. Okay, so if you have the project already online, then you can click on this to now go to where it is saved. So if I click on it, for example, you can see it's asking me to like say where that is, like add a new template URL. So the URL meaning that I should paste the link to where that project is, and then you click OK, and they click OK, and that project will then load. Okay, but we're not doing that. Another thing, so the other one is to bring as an import or load the already existing project from your computer. So if you click choose file, then you should look for where that project is. For example, if I think I have some of our previous ones, let me see if I can get to some of our previous ones and load one of them quickly. Do we have any of them here? Okay, we may not have that here just now. Okay, we may not have that here just now. So, but the thing is, if you select the particular project as it's saved in your computer, look for where you saved it, and then you go to that place, click on it, and then you click OK. When you click on the file, then you click OK. When you click on OK, on what pops up, then of course that project will be loaded. Okay, and then here is to create a new folder. So for example, I can so folder name, I can, let's say folder name first project files. Okay, and then where should the folder be in the global space? Like global space meaning it will be at the top of the computer. So if I click OK, then you see look at it, first project. So that folder has been created. So a folder is like a bag where you will put every file that you will use in your you use to build your app. Okay, so that's what each of these tools stand for. Okay, this one is to create a new project, like I showed you. If you click on it, you put the name of the project, and then leave every other thing as it is, and you click OK. I hope you can see this next thing that appeared here. I don't know if maybe I should take this somewhere here so that I will see what it is. Okay, yeah, that pops up. So that's it. So that creates the new project. So I will quickly do that now. Okay, but before I do that again, this is the next thing that I want you guys to see. This is the next thing that I want you guys to see, and that is to export the project that you have worked on. Okay, you can export it to your computer. So that is just one of the projects, I say. And then you can also export all the projects that you have listed in your workspace or in this place where they are all shown. Okay, so that's how that works. So that's for the export, and then here is gallery. So if you click on gallery, you have to then, so gallery is where you go get already worked, already built projects. So others have built some apps, and so you can, if you have an account, then you can already log in and have access to them. Or if you do not have an account, then you create your account here like this, you click submit, and then that will get you access to already built apps by others. Okay, so but that's not what we want to do. We want to build our own apps. Okay, and then this one is to publish to gallery. Publish to gallery means you've done your project and you want to also push it to where other people's projects.
Stop it now.
So you want to push it to where other that is the push publishing. So if you click the publish, that means that your project will also be among the other projects that are in the gallery, where other people can also see. Your parents, people, your friends, they can all go and also see it in that gallery. Okay, so that's what that publish means. Yeah, so for every project that you have created, you will see them listed here. So what I mean by project is an app. So for any app you create, you will see the list of all the apps here. Okay, the name of the app, here the date it was created, the last date that you worked on it. That's what we mean by the date modified. Okay, so that's what this place gives us, and I will end that one here. So let's rather create the new project and then move on with that. Okay, so I'll click create new project, and I will call it. This is what I will call this particular project. I will call it the designer artist. Okay. Or okay, let me just simply call it talk to me. Yeah, talk to me. That's the name of the app we want to build very quickly. So I'll click OK. Right. So once you enter the name of the app and then you click OK. All right. Then you see this big screen pop up. This big screen that you have seen is what we call the interface. So an interface is where you can now be able to put how the app should look like, okay? And also you will be able to now also see where you can now bring in things together so that when somebody clicks on buttons on your app, the app then will be able to react to the clicks that someone has done on any of the buttons, or even on a place where you expected them to type something. Okay, so that's that screen, the user interface. Okay, I mean the app inventor interface. So the app inventor, in the app inventor interface, there are, so on the far left you have what we call the user the components. Okay, now the components are grouped into user interface components, layout components, media components, drawing and animation components, maps components, charts components, data science components, and others. Okay. Now, what are these components? What are components in the first place? Now, let me see if I can show you a quick app inventor, a quick app. Okay, so let me show you quickly from one of my apps, and that app can be seen from, let me go to YouTube. I'll be able to see my app. Okay. Can we get that here? Let's see if we can get it. Okay, yeah, that's this one. Okay, so this is it. And so I'll just show you something here. I'll show you this. Yeah, so look at this app here, right? You have buttons, you have what we call a checkbox. So if you click on the checkbox, you click on this button, then something should happen. Like, for example, in this app, what's expected is that if you click on the checkbox, this thing is called a checkbox. If you click on it, it will tick. Okay, and then these are buttons. So if you click on the checkbox and you click this button and you click generate, something will happen. Okay, so that's what I mean. So you need to arrange your app the way people should see, the way you want people to see it. Like for this particular app, I wanted people to select behaviors, okay, or select what they think influence hash breaking when they are driving. And I listed the things on top of buttons. So if anyone they select, right, and they click that generate button, then I have an AI model at the back that will now that now tells whether that then tells whether those factors that they have chosen, how they really make them to commit hash breaking offense when they are driving. So this is how the app actually looks, and it's because I want them to see the app in this way. I want them to see these kinds of buttons. I want them to see these kinds of icons. I want them to see this kind of checkboxes. I want them to see this kind of thing up here. I want them to also have a button where they can click generate report, and so that it will trigger what the logic I will build to be able to generate the report. So this is what we call the user interface. So this is the user interface. So the alcohol button is a component. So each of those, all these buttons are all components, but they are of one type of component. They are the button component. Then these ones too are component. The checkboxes are also components, but they are of the type checkbox. Okay. The generate report here is also a component, right? But it's also of the button, is also a button component. All right. You have texts. So here in App Inventor, we call this one the label components, right? Where we are saying the listed below, blah, blah. So these are texts. So these texts, we use what we call label components to place these texts, okay? So that's how the app inventor. So right now, in this project that we want to build, you can see it's an empty screen waiting for you to now put the components on top of it and arrange them the way you want the users of your app to see them, okay? In a way that it will also be easy for the users to use, okay? So you have, for this, so you have the components. So so they are grouped into different categories. So you have the user interface components. That's where you have the buttons, the checkboxes, the checkbox I showed you, the button I showed you. Then you also have another type of component called the circular progress You also have the date picker, you have the image, you have then the label that I told you about, where you place texts. Okay, so these other ones are also there. I will not talk about those ones, but I will just talk about the ones that we will use for this particular example we are looking at in class here. Okay, so for this app, what we want to simply do is to allow a user of the app to like enter his or her name. Okay, enter his or her name on a text field. All right, on it either a text, what we call a text box. Let me show you how a text box look. This is a text box. So if I click on it, so how do you bring components to the screen? This is what you do. You click on it and then you drag. You drag it, and then you. So when you click on it, right, press your left button down. Press your left button on your mouse down. Don't leave it, and then you drag it to the screen, right? You can see that it's moving, right? So you drop it where, so when you can then drop it on this screen. Good. So that's a text box, right? So I've placed a text box there. So I expect the user to type in a name or whatever he wants to type in this text box. And then the next thing I want is a button that the user will then press, that the user will click. And that button, I want to call it the Speak to Me button, because the simple app we're trying to build here is an app that when somebody types anything into that text box and click the Speak to Me button, the app should be able to speak what the person has typed on that text box, speak it out to him, right? The user of the app should speak to the user of the app, okay? So at this point, any questions yet? Any questions so far?
None, sir.
Okay, no questions. Okay, good. Right, that's good. So I hope that now you know that we have what we call components, and these components are nothing but buttons, checkboxes, text boxes, date pickers, labels, images. All these are components, and you can place them on top of the screen and arrange them on the screen the way that you want the users of your app to see them. Okay, and also we've also learned that the components are grouped. Okay, and so you have the user interface group, you have the layout group, you have the media group, you have the drawing and animation group, you have the maps group, you have the charts group. So the ones that are mostly used or that are used most of the time is the user interface group. The layout group is also used most of the time because that's what we use to arrange how the component should look on the screen. Okay, so for this app, like I said, what we simply want to do, the app we want to build is a simple app that the user will type something, okay, maybe a story on this text box, and then click Speak to Me. So it will bring in a button is of course inside the user interface, and then we'll put it, okay, and so this will be the Speak to Me button. So we'll replace this text for button 1 with Speak to Me. So when the person clicks Speak to Me, it should then speak whatever that the user has typed in this place. So that's the simple app that I want to build for today and for today's session. Okay, so okay, so that's just how it looks. So another name that we call this left-hand side, where these components are, we call it the palette. Okay, so inside on the palette is where you have all the components, and like I said, the components are grouped into user interface components where you have buttons, checkboxes, and other components, layout components where you have horizontal arrangement, absolute arrangement, vertical arrangement, table arrangement components. Then media, you have components like camcorder, camera, file picker, image picker components. Then when we talk about drawing and animation components, you have ball, canvas, image, sprite components. So in the inside map, you have cycle, feature collection, and all that components. So there are groups like that. Okay. Now, so like I said, for this particular session, the only components we want to use are the button component and the text box components, and all of them can be found inside the user interface group, right? And I've already brought them out. Okay. So that's the first thing. I brought them out. The next thing is to arrange them. The next thing is to arrange them. Okay. Now, so let's arrange them. For us to be able to arrange them, we need the other component that is used for arrangement, and that component is inside the layout component. Okay, it's inside the layout group of components. So I'll click on the layout group of components, and then of course, because why I want them, why I want that is because I want it to be what the user should type should be on the left, and what the text box, the text box should be on the left, where the person will enter the text, and then I want the button, the speak to me button, to be on the right. So that is more or less a horizontal arrangement. Okay, this one is a vertical arrangement because the button is on top of the text. The button is on top of the text box. So I will take the horizontal arrangement and bring it here. Okay, and then I will take this in here, and I'll also take my other one here. Sorry. Okay, can you see that? I've been able to arrange the components from left to right instead of top to bottom. So I've arranged them left to right the way I wanted them. So the text box is on the left, and the speak to me button is on the right. Okay. Okay, so that said, the other thing we need to do is to change what we call the properties of these components. So what are the properties? The properties are those things that you can use to describe this component. Okay, for example, the color of this text box, or the text color. When somebody is typing, what should be the color of the text that the person is typing, right? What should be the color of the background of the text box? So color is a property. Another property that you can look at in terms of this is border. Should the text box have a border? What kind of border should it have? Should it have a hint color, right? So all those are properties. So where do you get those properties? So how do you get these properties? You get them from the right-hand side. So when you click on any component, you will see its property appear, the list of properties appear on the right-hand side. So as I click on this button, this text box, you can see all the properties for the text box have appeared. You can see it says we have the background color is in the default color, which is black. I can change it to something like this. Okay. Let's change it to yellow. So that changes the background color to yellow, and I will save. You can see the background color has changed to yellow. Let's see now, font bold. If I click font bold, meaning when the user starts typing, whatever the person types will be bold. Okay, if I want the text to be italics, then that's what will happen. Font size, you can also increase the font size so when the person is typing, the size of the text will be big if you use big size. If you use small size here, small number here, then the text will be small as well. Here you tell the font type and all that. Okay, so there are other, then of course I was telling you about the text color. What do you want to be the color of the text? Let's say since the background of the text box is yellow, let me make the let me make the text to be this color. Okay, and I save. So that when the person is typing, the text that the person is typing, the text itself will be this magenta color. Okay, and then you have these other these other properties as well. Multi-line, meaning that you will see when it gets to the extreme right, where as you are typing or as the user is typing on that text box, and it gets to the extreme right of border, the extreme right border, that is this border here, okay, it will go down and start on a new line from the left like that. Okay, if I want that kind of behavior, then I should click multi-line. Okay, if I want that kind of behavior, I should click multi-line. This person has just dropped again. Somebody was trying to join, and then just about adding the person just left again. You could tell the person to try and, okay, so if you want that kind of behavior, then you use the multi-line. Okay, so that's those are the stuff, those are the properties. Then for the text property, you can, for the button property, you can see that right now what is on the text, what's on the button is text for button 1, right? This text for button 1 is not what we want. What we want the user to see is speak to me. I think that's what we said we should put on the button, right? Am I correct? Speak to
yes,
me. Good. So if you click on the button, then you will see its properties. There's a property called text. That property is where you will change this text that is on the button. So we'll look for it. Where is it? Look at it, text, right? So I'll change it to speak to me. Okay. So that is speak to me, right? And if I hit enter now, it changes to the speak to me. So that is the text property of this box, of this button, Okay. So that's us. We've been able to arrange the app in the way that we want. We've been able to arrange the components of the app in the way that we want. Okay. So you now know that on the app inventor interface, you have the palettes on the left, and these palettes, the component palette per se. You have the components palette on the left that has the components which are grouped, and then you can drag and drop those components and then arrange them using the layout components, arrange the other components inside the layout components for them to look the way they should, the way you want them. And also that for every component, if you click on it on the right, on the far right or on the extreme right, you will now see the properties palette. Okay, on the properties palette, you can now change how it should look, what should be on top of it, what size, and all this kind of stuff. Those are the properties. So you can now do all that. Okay, once you click on any button, any component. So that's what we've learned just now. So we'll move on to the next phase. So this is us being done. This is us being able to put what we call the interface together. So the interface of our app has been successfully built. Okay, the interface of our app has been successfully built. There's something here that I don't like, and look at it. What is that I don't like? You can see that the components are going to the extreme left. They are attaching themselves to the extreme left. I don't like it. So what would I want to do? What would I want to do? I would rather want to bring them to the center. So I will click on the but the horizontal arrangement component so that I can see its properties, and then you can see align horizontal is left. Center. Okay, so if I make it center, it should then be able to move to the center. Okay, so you should be able to move to the center. And then another thing I want to do also is the width. The width should not be automatic. I would rather make it fill parent. Good. So fill parent means it should stress itself to the edges. The parent in this case is the screen. So I'm placing this component, the horizontal component, alignment component, on top of the screen. So if I say fill parent, means that it should stress itself to the width of the parent. If I say height, also fill parent, you will see it stress itself to fill the whole this screen as well. Can you see that? That is the essence of the fill stuff. Okay. So even with this now, I can even change the background color of this horizontal layer, horizontal component. Let's say I change it to this kind of color. Can you see that? So that looks more beautiful. So the user can now type, and then it will make more sense. Right. So that's us done with the how the app should look. It has looked a bit more beautiful, and then we've arranged everything properly. So that's the phase one. The next phase is how now do I make the phone to speak? How do I now make the phone to speak? That's where the AI comes in, right? That's where the AI comes in. Now, for the AI part, what we need to do is we will need a component called the text-to-speech component, okay? The text-to-speech component. And that text-to-speech component is inside what we call media. It's inside the media group of components. So if I click on media, I should be able to see text-to-speech. This is speech to the user. This is text-to-speech. So I will take it and I will drop it. Now, you can see something here. You can see that that component is not visible on the screen. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So you ask yourself, why is it not visible? Now, that tells you that there are some components that are visible on the screen, and there are some that will not be visible. But that does not mean they will not work. They work. So for such kind of components, where will you see them? You will see them in the components palette, in the used components palette. I call this one the used component palette. So here, this is where it is, just before the properties palette. Okay, just on the left of the properties palette, you will see the used components palette. So in the used components palette, you will see all the components that we have used. Look at it. We use, this is the horizontal arrangement component that we use, and inside there, you can see inside the horizontal, we have the text box, which is the speak to me text box. This one. This is the text box, and then the button one, which is the speak to me button. Okay, and then we also have the text to speech, which is not showing on the screen. Like I told you, it is an invisible component. Okay, so I would also quickly like to teach us something here. There's something we call variables, and these names that we're using, that our program will recognize. The program is not the user. The user will recognize this button as speak to me button, but inside the program, we will not recognize this button as speak to me. There is a name that our own code here will recognize the button, the button as, and that is the name that is given here, button 1. So anytime we want to do anything with this button in our code here, we'll refer to button 1. We'll use the name button 1. Here too, anytime we want to do something about the text box, the name will be text box inside our code. That the user does not know. And that is how softwares are built. That's how applications are built. Okay, what the programmer uses, the names the programmer uses is not the same names that most of the time, not the same names that the user sees. Okay, but for most of the time, what we do as programmers or as developers is we use names that are descriptive. So names that can, when another programmer or another developer see those names, they will know that, oh, this is what we're using this thing for. So I will, in that case, instead of saying text box 1, because we may have other text boxes, that means it will be text box 2, text box 3. So, but what are we using those text boxes for? That's a question. And it will bring confusion if we don't use good names, right? Good descriptive names. So I want us to learn this new thing, which is renaming the variable, renaming the components, okay? The names that should be used in our code, renaming them to reflect what we're using them for in the code. So I'll change the name of this one, this text box 1, to typing box. Okay, so I'll click on it. When you click on it, look at this place. You have rename, you have delete. If you want to delete it, okay, you click on the delete. But if you want to rename it, then you click on the rename. So I will change the old name is text box 1, but the new name I want to use is I'll call it, let me call it user typed text. User typed text or user typing area. User typing area. Okay. And I'll click OK. So you can see the name has changed to user typing area. So in our program or in our code, this is what we will use. This is what we use to recognize it. Anytime we see this, we know that it is this box. Then this one, we also rename this one to speak to me, or the speaking, let's call it the action button. Or I'll call it the speak action button. Speak action button. Okay. Now click OK. So we have now named this one to speak action button. So to us, it is called speak action button, but to the user, what he will see is speak to me. Okay. So that is us done with phase 1. The next phase is when the user enters what he wants to enter here, and he clicks the speak to me button. What should happen? There is where we now learn the logic. Okay, how do we implement the logic? So I'll click blocks. All right, blocks. So you have two kinds of interfaces here. You have the designer interface where you design how your app should look, and then the blocks interface where you now put the logic together. Okay, you put the logic together. Okay, so because we are done designing the app, we now go to the block so that we can now make this button to work. And that is implementing the logic of what should happen when the button is clicked and what should happen to the text that the user has typed in the text box. So in the blocks interface, if you go down on the extreme left, you will then see the components that we use here. Can you see all of them here? You have the horizontal arrangement that we used. We have the user typing area. We have the speak action button. We also have the text to speech. We have all of them. So this is what happens. Anyone you will click, what we call methods will appear. We have two kinds of methods. Okay, we have what we call the set methods, and we have what we call the get methods. But we will not go into detail about that one for now. I'll just show you the difference. A set method is one that has this kind of thing inside it, like it has this shape inside it. Then a get method is one that has this shape. This one is a get method. This shape has the shape that has something on the left coming out. But the get method is different. The get method has this type of shape that has that V-like thing coming on the extreme left. Okay, so that's the difference between a get method and a set method. And then basically, what is a method? A method is simply a block here that can do something. A block, this block, it can do something. So for the fact that it can do something, it is called a method. Okay, that thing it is doing is what we are calling the method. All right. Another name for it is function. So, but how do we start? Now let me ask the question here. Can we now think for a moment? If a user sees this app, how do you think he will start? Let me ask that question. Where do you think he will start from on this app? Can someone say something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where do you think the user will start from? Will he start clicking the speak to me button, or he will start with entering the text?
Entering the text.
Good. He will start with entering the text. Good. So in phase 2, what we will do is we want the app to act when we touch the button, button 1 that is on the that's on the right hand side. So what we'll do right now is that we will quickly go back to our blocks, because I'm told we're already running out of time. Okay. So we come to our blocks, and then what we need to do just now is to drag, click on the button, our button here, our speak action button. When you click on the speak action button, you have so many methods will appear. And what I want, what the action I want, or the effect I want, is when the button is clicked. So you have a method called when button clicked, when speak button dot click, right? So I'll click on that. So this is what I want. This is the method I want. I want a function that will notify the program or the app that the button has been clicked. And which button? The speak action button. Okay. Then after that, what will I then do? I will go to my text to speech button, component, and then click the text to speech 1.speak, because what I want is nothing but speaking. So I want to call this method. I will call the text to speech component that I use now to then speak. What do I want it to speak? I want it to simply speak what is in the text box that the user has typed. So what is in the text box? What is our text box? Is user typing area, right? So user typing area, I will go and do the get text of that, the get text method of that one. Where is it? This is, yeah, user typing area. I will change this property. I'll change this thing enabled to text. This is text, right? So call text to speak, this to speak. So when speak action button is clicked, call to speech dot speak message. What message? The text that is inside user typing area. Okay, and that is simply all that we needed to do for this app. Okay, and we can test it right now. Okay, we can test it right now. So how do I test my app? All I need to do, so I hope you have an Android phone with you, so you can test it. So all you needed to do is just click on the build, or you can connect with your AI companion. If you have not done that, you can. So if you have so you needed an AI companion software, a software called AI Companion on Google Play Store. Download it, then you can connect it directly. So if you, of course, if you pay for the the other ones, like if you pay for those two about how to get all these things, we include it in the in the pack, okay? And we will personally also guide you on how to do all this kind of stuff. But for now, we will just build it to get the installable version. So click build. So it's trying to build now. So when it finished building, I will just go and paste the installable version in the group, so that everybody, even those of you in the class today, can download it and test it, and then tell us the result in the group. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So it's building now. Okay, it's building. It should pop up to tell us that it has finished building. Yeah, it has finished building. So now, if you have right now, if you have a phone that has QR code scanner, you can right now scan this code, and you'll be able to download this app now to your phone and install it and test it and see how it works. In fact, I want to do that already with my own phone. My camera already has QR code. So I'll bring up my camera. Let me scan it just now. I'll tap it, that downloads it to my phone. So, but for the, so that all of you can also download it from the group, I will click download now. That's it, trying to download Talk to Me app. I will save it to my projects that are my project library, the Talk to Me app. So save it there. Quickly, don't waste my time. This thing, okay, yep, save it there. Yep. Okay, Talk to Me app is there now. So I'm downloading to my app now. So I will put it now in the group just now. So
Okay, sir.
let me put it in the group just now. Document. Code is okay, and then here kids bootcamp. Raise this up again. Talk to Me app. Where are you? Okay, yeah, this is our Talk to Me app. Okay. This is our app built in today's class. Download it to your phone, install and test it for yourself. How it works. Type anything into the text area, or text box, and tap the Speak to Me button.
Okay, sir, I'll do that.
We'll see it speak what you have typed in the text box to you. Okay. So yeah, so that's it. So okay, so that should be the end of today's class. But before we end the class today, any questions quickly before we?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
All right, ask.
There was a time I tried creating an app. I used AI, but but the thing is saying that to publish it on Google Play Store that you need to pay some amount. Is that true?
Yes, you have to have an account with Google Play Store, and for you to set up an account with Google Play Store, you have to pay Google $20 to do that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but first of all, always make sure that you've tested it on your phone and it works before you go ahead to Google Play Store to publish. Okay, this is me trying to test the app. Maybe I should stop screen right now and show myself. Yeah, so this is the app, right? I don't know if it's clear for anyone to see.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so if I type, I don't know where, okay. So that is, what have I typed there? And it's what I typed there.
No, sir.
Okay, so look at it again. What did I type there?
It clearly.
Oh, it's not still clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I tapped there was this is me. So I want to tap on the speak to me button to see if it will speak that out. Okay, for every one of us to hear.
This is me.
Did you hear that?
Yes, sir. Wow.
This is me.
Okay, so this is how simple it is to build a mobile app. So this is what this is the kind of thing that you'll be learning in throughout the whole course or the whole program. And uh, the projects that we are building are real projects that will enable. I think we'll talk about the dancing app. You have the calculator app. So we'll build in the projects. You will build a calculator that you just need to speak to it, and it will calculate what you're asking it to calculate. You can speak like add 2 and 5 for me. It will then add them together and tell you the answer. That's the kind of app that we'll build in the project. And for us to be able to build that project, we have some things that we have to really put together to pay for before we can be able to build that together. And that is why, while the training is free like this, we need to get the kits that we'll be able to use to build those projects. We will guide you to build the projects when you get the kits, right? So that's how it works. All right, thank you very much for today's class. If there's no other question or anybody,
No question, sir. Thank you for the lesson today.
all right, you're welcome. So I think that should end. Abraham, Desire, do you have anything to say?
No, sir, I do not. Thank you very much, Dr. Thompson, for tonight's section. Look forward to having you again tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you very
All right.
much and good night. Bye.
Thanks. Veronica, see you tomorrow. Try if you can invite as much persons you can invite, and we would love to see that. Whoever you know that can benefit from this, you can quickly just send them the link for tomorrow. Send them the group link to join. Tomorrow's section will be posted again. See you tomorrow, guys.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Hello, Desire. Hello, Desire,
Sir.
are you there? How
Yeah,
did you